Hey everybody, we are the Geeks and Degenerates. And since it's Oscar season this month, when we launch this lineup, we're talking about some Oscar movies. Yay! With me is John on his
Yay.
phone, and Edwin's coming back for this first of our lineup.
What's up, y'all? Miss me?
Yes.
We did.
And now we start with the Best Actor category, which seems fitting because this involves one of the best actors of all time, which is Robert De Niro in Raging Bull. Directed by Martin Scorsese and also stars Joe Pesci. And I won't really go through this like chronologically, but I'll just say some interesting facts I learned about this and how they executed it. Like, but before we get into that, did you guys see this before? We had to do this for the review, and what were your first impressions?
Don't worry, you want to go first?
Sure. Hell no, I didn't watch this yet until, because it takes a lot out of me to be like, I want to watch a Scorsese movie, or it's like the planets have to align where I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna try that out. But here we are, and it's my job now, and Enzo wanted to do it, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. This is my first time watching Raging Bull, and now I get where those scenes was like, did you fuck my wife? And that shit. And I was like, oh, so that's where it came from. but yeah, so this movie was surprising.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is very Scorsese.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell that Scorsese at the time, like when this was made, like 70s, 80s. When was this? I can't pull up.
1980.
Yeah. 1980.
1980s. Yeah, he was that hipster that was in love with the whole 50s to 40s timeline and would dress to that time period kind of deal. But yeah. So how about you, Ed?
Well, no, I have not. I did not see this before prepping for this review. But because like honestly, like I haven't watched that many Scorsese films. Like, I can probably count on my hand the number of Scorsese films like I've seen. There was, The Irishman. Fuck, what's Scorsese dude? Scorsese did Wall Street, right?
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Wolf of Wall Street.
Wall Street, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Irishman, Wolf of Wall Street. And shit, I think that's it.
Departed, you didn't watch Godfather?
What?
Godfather, The Departed.
The Departed, no.
Yeah.
Ah, it's so good.
Yeah. What else does Scorsese do? Actually,
Goodfellas.
I
Yeah.
actually haven't seen Goodfellas.
Oh. Casino.
Fine. You know what?
Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway, that my point stands. But I've always been like, because I'm a fucking actor. Like I do enjoy like studying his work every now and then. But I've never gone as far back as Raging Bull. And it was really interesting to kind of like see the sensibilities Scorsese had as a filmmaker back then, and just like the kind of work he does with like Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci, because it's still very similar to like more modern projects like The Irishman.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I just want to say like it's very interesting how they chose to do grayscale.
Raging Bull.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like black and white to shoot the movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because like every time I would see Raging Bull, I was like, this movie must be really old. And I was like, wait, no, that's Robert De Niro.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, yeah, no, it's just like it's very interesting to go back and see, I guess, this slightly more experimental style, where even if you look at like the shots, a lot of it's very reminiscent of like films in like the 40s and 50s, with like static cameras, handheld shots, and like it sometimes gives off like an art housey vibe, which I kind of dig.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. How like art house kind of deal. I love the opening where he's just dancing in the was this the ring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just giving the credits, and I love that shit. I love the fight scenes as well. I was like, for the 80s, at the first fight, it was kind of obvious that they were, telegraphing their punches and trying not to hurt the other guy. But once we got into like the middle or the last part of the film where he's really wailing on the guy, the choreography there was so good, and it did look real. Where he's doing body punches, and I was like, those are connecting.
Yeah.
I don't know if the guy his opponent is the real boxer and could actually take that, but kudos on them.
Yeah. Well, as for me, like I watched this during lockdown, and one day I was like, I want to watch some boxing movies. So I watched this along with like Cinderella Man, and like rewatched like Creed and the Rocky films. So I just had my boxing movie fix, and this one really stands out because it's more of a biopic than a boxing movie, than a standard
Definitely.
boxing movie. And
Yeah.
Scorsese really, you can see his signature on this movie. The grit that he always has when it comes to any movie he makes, whether it's a mob movie or something like a boxing movie, even The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do know De Niro asked him constantly to make this movie. And he kept saying no. And it was only after he almost died of an overdose that De Niro was like, you need to sober up and you need to make this movie. And he's like, fine, I'll do it. And we do know that De Niro is a method actor, so he did train with the real Jake LaMotta. He trained for...
Yeah, no, he. Sorry for cutting you off, but like he does know how to throw a punch.
Yeah.
Like that shit was proper, in my opinion.
He trained 1,000 rounds to get 20 pounds of muscle, and it shows. And like going to the character of Jake LaMotta, you see his resilience as a boxer, but you also see this man is not the best character in real life.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, he's kind of a shitbag.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit, kind of. Man's very impatient. That's all I gotta say. Like, look at him the wrong way. That's a whole argument right there.
Yeah.
Close the jar in a very odd manner. He's gonna get mad at you for some reason.
Yeah.
He's that kind of guy. I'm like, a lot of the times I did kind of, while watching this movie, I did kind of like, man, can you just chill? Like, fuck. It's just steak. Wait.
Right?
Like, that was me the whole time. I was like, I was being impatient with him being impatient. I was like,
I mean, I was going through it, and honestly, like my first thought was just like common 50s husband.
Yes, exactly.
Where's wife beater?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Common 50s like American Italian husband.
Yeah.
The twang of his like accent was really stuck on me as
Yeah.
well.
Like just the first few minutes with his first wife, you're like, oh, okay, you're an asshole. Cool. I have to be here for 2 hours. Thanks, Martin Scorsese. And then we meet Joe Pesci, and like I know the two actors actually lived with each other for a while to really seal that bond as brothers, and they really did hit each other in the face when they were like, "Hit me as hard as you can, Joey," and that's actually them hitting each other, and blood was really drawn. You're like, "Oh my god."
Like I'm curious. Did Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci actually ever work together before this?
Yes, a lot of times.
No, not before this. I think this is their first collaboration.
Really?
Because after
Yeah,
this,
because
Goodfellas.
yeah, because I know they worked together like a lot, but like I'm not sure like if this was their first project together or not.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, sorry, I'm dumb. I forgot that Godfather 1 and Godfather 2. Like Godfather 1 was Joe Pesci, Godfather 2 was Robert De Niro. Right, my bad, my bad.
Joe
But yeah.
Pesci was never in The Godfather. I think you're having your mob movies confused.
Man, you know what? They all start to look the same.
I mean, to be honest,
when you see it as a whole,
to be fair, they also all talk the same.
Yes.
true. Like Robert De Niro would be playing a guy named Tony, and the other one will be him named Jack. I don't know. It's pretty much the same person.
Yeah.
Horrible father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, like Anyway, like going back to what I was saying, I was like, it was really interesting, like and like hearing you Enzo talk about like their kind of like process and like living together to kind of like form that bond, because like it really does come through in the movie, you know, like they really are like brothers, and I just thought that was
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like during one of their sparring sessions, he actually did break a Joe Pesci's rib, which you can see in the final cut of the movie, where he just punches him on the side, and Joe Pesci makes a sound, and then it cuts to another angle.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
I think I read about that.
yeah,
And Robert De Niro hits hard. Fuck.
yeah. Apparently, and like you see in his fight scenes, how vicious a fighter Jake LaMotta is. You're like, this guy is lives up to his name, the Raging Bull, because he is a bull in the ring. You're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man has zero defense, but put everything on strength.
Yeah, that's his default for
Like
an RPG.
yeah, it's just all in damage. That's it.
Yes.
Zero defense.
And like I like how the fight scenes are shot too. Like again, for something that's not an average boxing movie, you're like, this is pretty good. Most of them are pretty good and convincing, at least from my perspective.
Yeah, definitely,
Sure, yeah.
and like that's why like I think that definitely like separates it from a lot of like the other like boxing focused movies at the time, or like sports movies in general, because like with sports movies, like, you know, like Rocky, Creed, anything else like
Yeah.
in that era or in that genre, there's a lot of action shots really, and one thing I noticed, like watching the fight scenes here, is that the camera work is a lot tighter. It's a lot. It's usually a lot more like close-ups and whatnot. So
Mm.
it's more. It it definitely is more character-driven storytelling than it is about like the action itself.
Yeah.
No, it does help because what was his name again? The fighter, Robert De Niro's character,
Jake LaMotta.
Yeah, Jake LaMotta.
Jake LaMotta. Yeah, the man is an infighter, and I love it that yes, we're looking at the world through his eyes. This is how he fights, and the camera being so up close when they are pretty much like, you know, face to face. It's very like that's a good kind of style of film director
Yeah.
that I don't know. I just appreciate it. Like this is what an infight looks like. It's very tight. It's very messy.
Yeah, and it really works for the kind of movie that Raging Bull is, because like, you know, like it's less an action sports film than it is like a biopic. So
Yeah.
you know, like there has to be a lot of like close up shots, because you want to tell a story about this character or this person, right? And
Yeah.
there's really not many better ways to do that than just getting really up close with them.
Yeah.
And speaking of when Edwin said Rocky, yeah, if you ever like are in the mood for like getting into boxing, don't watch this movie.
Oh yeah.
That's all I gotta say. Watch Rocky, but Raging Bull is not that kind of movie where you aspire to be a boxer.
Yeah, because like,
Yeah.
cause like Rocky is like it's a classic sports movie. It's fun. It's exciting. It's inspiring.
Yeah, it's an underdog
Yeah.
tale.
Yeah,
this is
Raging
something
Bull-
else.
This is a Scorsese
It's
movie.
not that. Raging Bull is very much akin to a Greek tragedy.
Yeah.
That is true. It's
Also-
very true.
I love how they set up how the mob is in control of boxing too, where it's always like fixed. Like it's not based on the merit of your skills. It's who you know that can help you win the next title that you're going for. Because without them,
Yeah.
you can't go anywhere. It's not like in modern day where you work on your merit and HBO promotes you. No, you have to get the right contacts, and if you don't do what the mob says, you're either out of the match or you might end up dead.
That's true.
Uh,
No, but yeah, like we see it in some scenes where he does have to throw the fight.
Yeah.
It does upset him. I hate the fact that he can't like fake being knocked out or something. Like take a couple of hits like you usually do, you know, and then just suddenly just have a glass chin or something. I don't know, man. Just fake it well.
Yeah.
Although like you do bring up like a really interesting point, because like all this talk about like sports movies and like whatnot, like makes me like kind of realize like how Martin Scorsese really like stands out among like other filmmakers, especially like within the context of this movie, because a lot of like sports movies are about, you know, like hard work, hustle, like
Hmm.
and you know it's the classic American dream. And the way Raging Bull is made, shot, and like the story it tells, it's kind of like it dives into like the complete opposite side of that, which
Yeah.
is, you know, like often like very reflective of what real life is like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Like,
it's less about like of course what you can do is still important, but more than that, it's the people you're connected to.
yeah, and it is a rough watch, I will say, because with Rocky, on the downtimes when they're not fighting, it's like train, hard work, being inspired, running beside a train trying to catch a chicken. With Raging Bull, it's domestic abuse, and I'm like, oh dear,
Well,
oh my. And those scenes are kind of tough to see. I was like,
I
all
mean,
right,
like
yeah.
that's the thing with like Scorsese films is like Scorsese films
yeah,
are usually like a tough watch.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
since John already mentioned it, we'll transition for a bit to Vicky LaMotta, played by Kathy Moriarty, who in the movie Vicky is 15 to Jake. I forgot how old Jake was, but in real life, Kathy Moriarty was 17, and De Niro was 35. So different times, but right from the start, there's this like ick factor, like
Oh my god, I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah, Vicky is 15.
Hey, product of its time.
yeah,
I really hope. You know, I'm gonna shut up right here.
But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like it is fucked, but like again, like that whole relationship between Jake and Vicky was, you know, just again like kind of reflective of like Martin Scorsese's general like filmmaking style and the kinds of projects he does, where, you know, like it's not all like glitz and glamour, and like it's not very inspiring, it's not very uplifting, it's very dark, it's very gritty, it's very like in a lot of I think and I would argue in like every Scorsese film, even though I haven't seen every Scorsese film, it's about it's about fucked up people.
yeah,
That is true. Yeah, like this
Right?
is the life of like, you know, there's
Yeah,
Goodfellas, drug dealers or mafias
yeah.
yeah,
gangsters.
I have yet to remember a Scorsese film or direct or discussion of any Scorsese film where like the main characters were like good people. Like these are not good people. You don't want to be these people. Like you want to be Rocky, right?
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Or you want to be those guys in I'm trying to remember that one bobsledding film.
Oh,
Uh,
Cool
oh,
Runnings.
Cool Runnings.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, love that movie. Love
Yeah.
that fucking movie.
yeah,
But yeah, like you want to be those guys. You want that kind of like inspiring like rags to riches kind of story, right? And like hard work.
Yeah.
If you work hard enough, you can achieve your dreams. But like Scorsese is very much like, no, that's all bullshit. And like in the real world, there's a lot of shitty people who do shitty things, and it's just about them like doing the best with what they've got,
Hmm.
yeah.
and the best they can with what they've got.
Yeah, I do like the sequence where you see the home video is just opposed to Jake LaMotta climbing up the ladder of his career during the 40s, and the home
Yeah.
videos are shot in color, and that's the only time you see things in color, and then it's right back to reality where Jake's very dismissive of Vicky. He's also very jealous of her too. Like he's a
Right.
very insecure
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, toxic masculinity movie. You know,
Yeah.
this dude just any dude who looks at his girl the wrong way is just like. And he kind of takes it out on his wife. I was like, man, you pointed the gun at the wrong person here.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, we never find out if his brother did sleep with his wife or something. They never like We never had closure on that argument.
No.
Yeah, so it's very open-ended. It was like, did he? Did you fuck my wife? You know?
Yeah.
Did you fuck my wife?
Why would you ask me that?
Also, Joe Pesci
Ah,
isn't the best at motivation. It's like, stop eating, you're eating, you fat fuck. Stop eating. You have a
yeah,
big
you
mouth.
fat fuck.
I mean, that's just Joe Pesci being Joe Pesci, man. I love him. I love him so much. Like that man, like Joe Pesci is my goddamn hero.
Look at you, you piece of shit. And that was a line from Home Alone, by the way.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, honest, I keep forgetting he was in Home Alone.
Right?
Same here. I feel like I'll be way.
No, because it's like you look at the shit like Joe Pesci usually does, and then like you see Home Alone.
You're like,
what the fuck? You can do comedy?
you're the definition of this guy has range.
Kevin McAllister, did you fuck my wife?
Fuck my wife. Kevin's just like.
I do love
Yeah.
the bouts he has with Sugar Ray Robinson.
Yeah.
There's like a set rivalry. You're like, I hope he comes up on top, even though I kind of wish he doesn't come on top because he is a piece of shit.
Yeah, like what did they have? Like 3 matches or 4, and it was never decided because like one of them just didn't want to fight that person anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
And I was like,
the last fight is when Sugar Ray literally beats the shit out of Jake LaMotta. You're like, Jesus Christ.
yeah. I don't know, the bystanders on the ground just gets blood sprayed on their face. I was like, oh, there we go.
And to know that's her, they use Hershey's chocolate because it looks more like blood oozing out of you than actual blood, fake blood, when it's black and white. And like the editing style is just brilliant too. Where it's just like bam, 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 and then the last punch hits him, and you see blood just spray out of his forehead. You're like, holy fuck.
Yeah, but we get that iconic panning shot that we see in every cinema essay or like video essay
Yeah.
where he's like just leaning on the ropes.
Yeah. And according to Scorsese, that for him that was the most gruesome scene of the movie, which is a lot.
Really? No?
Yeah.
But like before that, he does accuse Joe Pesci of sleeping with his wife, and then he confronts Vicky and starts hitting her, and then she doesn't really give an answer, but through his imagination, he's like, "Oh, he did fuck my wife," and then beats the shit out of Joey, and then knocks Vicky out. You're like, "Oh my god!"
Oh, but Vicky does like go on and like, yeah, I did fuck him. I fucked all of them. I sucked all their dicks. They got bigger dicks than you. I'm like, whoa. I was like, okay.
Hey man, you push someone hard enough, and eventually they're gonna push back.
No, but I get Vicky though, because like, what else do you want me to say?
Yeah.
Like, why do you want me to admit it so bad? Yeah. Yeah, he beats the shit out of Joe Pesci
and that's why I'm gonna say that Vicky did fuck. In fact, fuck Joey.
In fact,
Yeah, fuck.
in fact, Joey.
you know what? We get the picture. They fucked.
Yes.
Fuck, fact.
Yeah.
He's trying to state the fucks. I mean, the facts.
Add that to your vocabulary, folks. But yeah, after getting a haymaker from Jake, he does go back to him. We're like, I guess this is the time.
No, that I would say that's kind of realistic because I don't know. That's the product of its time, or
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that is the time period. Like
I mean, it's also like cycle of abuse, right?
yeah. She kind of has like this whole Stockholm syndrome shit.
I mean, also like let's not forget the fact that when Jake and Vicky got married, Vicky was 15.
Yeah.
So definitely a lot of like possible grooming in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And since Vicky was involved with Jake at such a young age, like this is like just like kind of like me theorizing or speculation on my end, but like there's also like a weird sense of like dependency like that's been built. It's like
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. Especially if you're a rising like star like Jake here. Jake,
yeah,
Jake, Jack.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Also going back to the actress for a bit, like she came from a time when they did things differently because De Niro did hit her, and he's like, "You're fine, you can take it." She holds no grudges though, and she's thankful for the experience. But yeah, different time where
Okay.
people would actually hit each other during acting or during takes.
So now I'm wondering if that welt was real.
Oh, though from the haymaker, I'm sure that was like makeup.
I really hope so.
I'm sure Scorsese wasn't like, "Please just knock her the fuck out." Like, no, don't do that.
Just like really give it her. Just
Put your shoulder into it. Like, really lean into that hook.
remember when you broke Joe Pesci's spine? Do that, but her face.
She can take it. She's a big girl.
Also love how Joey went full kingpin on that one mob guy. You're like, you're gonna Darth Maul him at some point.
Yeah, because that's when we start to see like, oh shit, Joey has feelings for his wife.
Yeah.
This is what I'm like speculating now. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
kind of sus.
Oh yeah. Since you did bring up Rocky before, I know the main reason that this is black and white was to distinguish itself from Rocky.
That's good.
Yeah.
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 And the audio you hear from the last fight, the commentary was from the actual commentary back in the day.
Okay. Okay.
Nice touch.
Yeah, and then we go to the second half of Jake LaMotta's life, for this movie at least, where his health is declining, and again, I mentioned Robert De Niro is a method actor, so they had to shut down production for 4 months so he could get that weight, and he gained 60 pounds by
That's what I'm
traveling.
wondering, man.
He traveled
By what?
through Europe, eating nothing but pasta and drinking milkshakes every day.
I can't
Damn.
do that. I can't do that for 4 months.
His-
No, but that's what I was wondering. I was like, is that prosthetic? Because they did a prosthetic for his nose,
Yeah.
but I was like,
The rest of
that
it
will
is
not be prosthetic.
the rest of
Yeah,
it
I was like-
is not prosthetics.
Yeah, because he's so jacked. Like, and then he just lost it all. It was like man pretty much pulled our today's Christian Bale kind
Yeah.
of method acting. I was like,
Absolutely.
wow.
He also developed severe asthma, and so Scorsese was worried about him because his breathing wasn't normal after that for a while.
It does hit the best of us. Aye.
And you see how much of a decline he is, like not only in terms of weight, but like in terms of like you're just really a piece of shit. Where he starts flirting with really underage women. You're like, how low can this man go?
I mean,
hate
he
that.
already started with Vicky.
Yeah,
Let's
He already started with Vicky. Yeah.
yeah.
And then, like, he has this whole club now. Yeah, I would like to have seen a club like that where the guy who owns the club would just do stand-up comedy for
Yeah.
his own club. I was like, this is very alien to me. But for sure not to the old people. But yeah, like when he was like, "Oh, this girl, she doesn't have any like proof that she's over 21." I was like, "You got any? Show me that you're over 21." And she kisses him. I'm like, I don't want to watch anymore.
Yeah, right.
I was like, okay. And then there was another girl. I was like, oh, come on.
And then the police are like, she's 14. You're coming with us. You're like, oh
And
god.
then it's like the worst thing you could say to a cop is like, you grab the photo of the girl, like, does this look like 40 to me? Like, I was like, man, you're not really helping yourself at this point.
He also doesn't think things through because after his wife leaves him, he goes to her house and gets his belt, separates the jewels from the belt. I was like, oh, but that makes it less valuable. Never mind, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know if you got I don't know if you got like pissed off at that scene, but I did. When he took his belt and started taking out the jewels, I was like,
Yeah.
"No, you idiot! The whole belt itself would have cost more than just the jewel." Like, and then he brings it to like a pawn shop, and they're like, "Where's the belt?" I was like, "Those are the jewels." I was like, oh, the belt with the jewels costs more. I was like, you fucking idiot. Anyway, sorry. It was a roller coaster of a film, but like a lot of the times I was mad.
Yeah. It's like if you.
Maybe that's the point, though.
Yeah.
I think so.
I was about to say, like, it's like getting the WWE Championship and just removing the W. Like, look, it spins. It costs something, right?
Yeah, you take the part that actually like spins it, and now it's just stationary.
How much is it worth? Nothing. You idiot.
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
And then we cut to jail, and this is the scene I do like where Jake LaMotta realizes how low or how much of a piece of shit he is, and just breaks down.
Yeah, and then he just starts punching the wall and immediately regrets it.
Yeah. And then we kind of get somewhat of a redemption arc, but like he's been such a piece of shit throughout the movie where when he meets his brother again, you're like, I hope his brother doesn't suddenly just go, all is forgiven. I know you beat the shit out of me in front of my kids, but I love you. No, he's just like, I don't want anything to do with you. I'm out. Maybe I'll call you. But we never find out if he calls him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I found that very like scene itself really hard to watch, where he's like kissing his brother nonstop. And it was like,
it's definitely like a really like rough scene. Like you know, like you have your estranged brother who comes back after like fucking how many years was it? Like 8 years?
I think almost 8 or 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, beating the shit out of you because he thought you fucked his wife, which you may or may not actually have. But you know, but
this video leans towards the other, you know.
Yeah, you sold you in front of your family, and you know, like all of a sudden, like your brother comes back, and like trying to pretend like everything's like hunky dory, and like the thing, like I don't think there's any point in the scene where Jake actually says sorry.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, it's just like let's make up, right? Like
yeah. Like, I miss you. I miss you. Like,
yeah, that was such a long time ago. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
So you know, like it's less like I guess it's not really like a standard kind of like redemption, because like Jake is still kind of a shitty person, but you know, like it's still like I guess progress, kind of maybe. Depending on how you look at it, because like this scene, like a lot of things in the movie are very open to interpretation.
Yeah, where was he at the ending, by the way? Where he's talking to himself and he's like quoting a movie.
I would guess Vegas. That's my
performing.
Guess. Yeah, maybe.
I don't think it's like ever specified, really.
Yeah. So I really don't know where he was at that point. I was very confused. I was like,
yeah, you don't know, like, did he call Joey? Are they good? Where's his life at right now? You just know he's working somewhere, quoting on the waterfront, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And then, like, we end the movie with like a Bible verse.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
I think that's dedicated to Scorsese's film professor who passed away before the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you mentioned, both of you mentioned, this movie is the definition of a roller coaster, where you're like, since LaMotta is the protagonist, you're like, oh, he's the main character. And as it progresses, you're like, I kind of don't want you to be the main character no more. I want it to be someone else, please. But you're stuck with him on this ride. You're like, I kind of want to go on this ride, please.
I mean, that's like the interesting thing, like about like a lot of Scorsese films. Like again, like, well, I really have to stop saying a lot of Scorsese films, because I've only seen 3 at this point.
No, but you're right though. Because now I'm gonna say it. A lot of Scorsese films, midway through, you don't want to root for the guy anymore. You don't want to watch this guy's life anymore because you know where it's going.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I walked away from this film like I felt the exact same way about this film, the way I did about The Irishman.
Yes.
Same here. Yep, I agree with that. Yep.
Yeah, like you see the main characters, and it's like, okay, yeah, you're a piece of shit. And you know, like it makes for a very compelling story. Like I love these kinds of character dramas, but like it's heavy, man.
It is.
And you know, like as much as I enjoy this movie, I never want to see it ever again.
There we go. My line.
I know, I know that's your line. That's why I said it.
No, because like I could finally put it in this long long list of movies that I don't like. I'm glad I watched, but I will never touch again. And a lot of those are Scorsese films.
You know what? I'm gonna join the train as well with this one. I'm like, you know what? Twice is enough. Twice is enough.
What's good. One is good. Like I'm
Twice.
glad I watched it. I could say I watched it, but I'll never watch it again.
More than once, you're like, do I need help? Do I need to see
Like,
something?
look, I'll watch another Robert De Niro film like The Intern over this. You know, that wasn't that good. I think.
What was the one with Ben Stiller? Meet the Fuckers.
Yeah,
Meet the Fuck. I never watched that.
First it was Meet the Parents, and then it was Meet the Fuckers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then there was a third one. I forget what it's called, but yeah.
Alright.
I do recommend those movies. They're actually pretty good watches.
Yes.
All right.
They're actually pretty fucking funny, and like you gotta get to see Robert like stretch his acting chops a little bit because like he's actually like, fucking hilarious in those movies.
Yes.
I would like to recommend as well The Intern because it's a pretty good feel-good movie. So, yeah.
Right. So what would you rate this movie?
Okay, since it is in that category of like, glad I watched it, will never watch it again. I will give this one a solid 8 out of 10. Like, the fight scenes were good, the acting was amazing. But I will say, for my personal taste, I do not like when it's not a fight scene and it's just him and his wife and the domestic abuse. I was like, I don't want to watch anymore. Like that's me a lot of the times in this movie. It's just me. I'm like, oh God, her face. Like like I'm just.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's enough. That's enough. And him just snapping at like a pin drop or some shit. Like.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
It's the Bill Burr
calm down.
thing. Do you have tissues in the
tuna casserole? No, but yeah, like besides that, the acting is great, the action scene is great, how it was filmed was amazing, as Edwin has mentioned, and did I enjoy majority of this film? Yes. Was I uncomfortable for a lot of it? Yes. So yeah, it's an 8 out of 10. Sorry, I'm not gonna give it 10. But yeah, that's my score for it. How about you, Ed?
I'm gonna give this film a 9. Actually, because like, I like it when movies like push me out of my comfort zone, and I was very much like a lot of other. Again, I need to stop saying that. Like, like when I watched The Irishman or like similar kinds of movies, like I was out of my comfort zone like a lot of the time. But like I feel like this kind of storytelling is like important to the industry because like it's important to kind of dive into those like deeper aspects, like dive deeper into the darker aspects of like people, because like at the end of the day, that's a lot of what Scorsese's films are about. It's like fucked up, broken people in a fucked up, broken world, which is very reflective of the kind of world we live in, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. Like, and I enjoy those kinds of movies. Like, but again, like keeping it from that 10 is just, while I acknowledge that these kinds of movies are important, personally speaking, I watch movies is I kind of want to be entertained. Like, I like A lot of the time when I watch a movie, I just want to like turn my brain off and have a good time, right?
Yeah.
But and there is like that kind of like fine line between a character drama that's very thoughtful, introspective, that you can think about and stew on for a little bit, versus like something that's like completely brain dead. Like there is that fine, you can find a good balance of the two. Like trying to find a good example, like Fury, V for Vendetta.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Django Unchained, that kind of thing. It's like these are all movies that kind of like explore like kind of fucked up ideas and like topics and people, but at the same time can also be enjoyed perfectly on its own. Just like popcorn, like turn your brain off, put on some popcorn, and just enjoy the movie. Like like those movies have that mix. And yeah, so I guess that's sort of my whole reasoning.
Before I give my rating, I have one more story to give. That when the actual Jake LaMotta watched this movie, he realized how much of a piece of shit he was. He asked Vicky, was like, "Was I that bad?" And she was like, "You were the worst."
You know what? Hey, fair. Give Vicky that kind of closure.
Yeah, I will give this an 8 out of 10 as well. I do really like this movie, just for the performances alone. But, like, as you said, both of you mentioned, like, since we're dealing with such a heavy drama, and since this is based on real life, you're like, I want to look away. I wish these things weren't real, but they are. It's not like where you're watching Joker, where you're like, Joker's made up, Joker's made it up, and Joker's made up. Or like, I can get a sigh of relief. This is you watching this man's life crash and burn and then kind of rise again. You're like, I don't want to watch this again. I'm glad I watched it, but for the sake of my own sanity, twice would be enough for now. Or if my friend wants to watch it, I'm like, I'll just be on my phone. Just be like, okay, I'm glad you're liking this. Because I'm not. But yeah, really good performances and a very captivating story and really good fight scenes.
But please don't. Yeah. Oh, question. Pause. Did I lag there?
Yeah, a bit.
Fuck. Okay. Sorry.
It wasn't like super bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, go on.
But yeah, I don't want to see this for a while, at least. But I do acknowledge how important it is, and like how great it is.
Yeah, I'll probably like watch it again one of these days whenever I want to do like a really like deep dive, like kind of like full analysis of the movie. But because like this is one of the things I hate about being an actor, man. It's like I can't just enjoy movies anymore. Like, I need to like pick them apart piece by piece and just I can't enjoy things anymore, man.
See what happens when you get too involved in what you love.
We talked about this.
I've literally been like this entire video I've been waxing like philosophical about all this shit. Like I just want to talk about the goddamn movie, not like fucking
not the nuance of this fucking piece of shit.
yeah, because like I don't want to be one of those like pretentious art dickheads. But like here I am, bro. I hate it. Like I am literally like that meme where it's just like, this is cinema.
This is cinema.
God help us.
Oh gosh.
I hate this, man.
Well, we talked about easy Robert De Niro movies to watch. What are some of your favorites, if you can remember them?
I mean, I already said mine earlier. Like me.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Are you good? Oh god, he's dying.
I don't know if
folks.
that's him trying to censor himself from saying the word fuck.
Oh. H2O,
Him
folks.
drinking water killed me.
Remember to hydrate, folks.
Yeah. Remember to hydrate, kids. Always keep water on hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I was saying before I started fucking choking, Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, great Robert De Niro films. Highly recommended.
Okay.
You know what? I will say my favorite one with Robert De Niro in it might be Godfather 2, but the one I would gladly rewatch is The Intern, because I would love to be like Robert De Niro's character in this movie when I reach that age, where he wears suits to like a fucking startup company. I was like, "Ooh, you're out of place, time and place." I'm like, okay, but it's a fun watch, I will say. Yeah.
I would pick Stardust, where he plays an unusual pirate. Also, Sharkdale, where he plays one of the sharks.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I forgot he was in Shark Tale.
Yeah.
No, I forgot he was in Stardust.
Yeah. I'll put a picture here in case anyone else forgets.
Oh, also, Silver Linings Playbook. I enjoyed him.
Yes, I love that movie.
Oh yeah,
I really like that movie.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, that's been our video on Raging Bull. What do you guys think? What's your favorite Scorsese movie? Please comment down below. You can find us at Facebook, Spotify, and TikTok, all under the same name, Geeks and Degenerates. Facebook to see us react to trailers, stream games, and about our lives from time to time. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments, and Spotify to hear us on the go. Individually, you can find me at Yandalphus1995 on Twitter.
Man, you're having a hard time with that one every time.
Yes,
Yeah, you can find me
trying,
at
man.
John.
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at Urity.
And yeah, you can find me at John Gio.
I haven't streamed on Twitch in so goddamn long.
We're watching this outro, so but yeah, you can find me at JomGio M_ on Instagram. It is my account.
Yeah, we're all struggling. I keep forgetting that I don't want people to follow me on IG no more.
Yeah,
Follow me, bro. I'm a narcissist.
He's an art boy now.
Yeah, I'm an art dickhead.
But yeah, we'll probably continue our Australis with something maybe less heavy. Who knows? But yeah, until then, we'll see you all on the next one. Please, sure. Bye.
Yeah.